Earlier this morning, we had an excellent meeting with Dr. Deborah Birx, who was in Mississippi as part of her tour across the South, as well as Dr. Dobbs and his entire team, and several community leaders, political leaders, and business leaders from across the state. Dr. Birx has been visiting several states across the South as we deal with increased COVID-19 cases and obvious hospital system strain. I will tell you that Dr. Birx has been a tremendous partner for Mississippi throughout this fight, but it was especially great to have her on the ground here in our capital city. She offered some excellent insight, reiterated that she and the Trump administration are available to help in any way that we need. She also was very complimentary of Mississippi's innovative approach to this mission. She recognizes that we are not just chasing what the national headlines say is the latest silver bullet. We as Mississippians are leading, and they have noticed. They appreciate it, and they support it. I don't want anyone who is paying attention today to mistake the confidence that I have in the team working on this with the notion that all of our problems are solved. We as a state have serious challenges, but with leadership, they can be addressed. We can come through this. Dr. Birx reiterated the Trump administration's firm conclusion that masks work, and masks can help prevent further economic shutdowns. We know that further economic shutdowns is a pain in many of our communities that is not sustainable, and that it contributes to our people giving up on our mission. While we are dealing with the hospital challenges that we have and other transmission in COVID-19, our other work does not stop. For example, earlier today, I announced that former Senator Gray Tollison would be taking over the circuit judgeship in the 3rd District of Mississippi. Senator Tollison has been a friend and an ally of mine for many, many years. He is a recognized legal mind. He did wonderful things in the Mississippi legislature as chairman of the Judiciary Division B Committee, as well as for the last 8 years providing opportunities for Mississippi kids as Education Committee chairman. And I know he will be a fantastic circuit judge for that area of our state, and I'm glad and honored that he was willing and able to take that appointment. In addition to that, today we want to announce several new measures to help in the economic crisis and the health crisis that we are facing. The first is a hub for Mississippi businesses, Mississippi schools, Mississippi churches, and other organizations to be able to purchase masks, gloves, hand sanitizer, and other PPE that is made in Mississippi. For too long, we relied on our nation's adversary in China to produce this equipment. Today, there are many small businesses throughout Mississippi who are stepping up, competing, and offering these critical goods. This was one of many brainchild of the Restart Mississippi group that we pulled together from the private sector. It was created by the Mississippi Development Authority, and now you can go online to www.ms-ppe.org to check it out. Let me say that again, www.ms-ppe.org. We've listed several Mississippi companies along with the goods that they can offer and contact information already. And there's a simple form for other Mississippians and other Mississippi companies to join the list. In our Restart Mississippi committee, we had a ton of talented Mississippians that contributed to that effort. Today we have with us Monica Hargill, who led the small business subcommittee of that group, and she is here today to tell us a little bit about this new initiative and how it was conceived. Monica, thank you for your dedication to the people of Mississippi. Thank you for your friendship, and thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Governor. Most of you probably know, Governor Reeves created Restart Mississippi to serve as an advisory group to focus on economic revitalization. And the group has been hard at work. As Governor Reeves said, I'm co-chairman of the Small Business Subcommittee. And over the last many weeks, the group has been focusing on different initiatives that can help Mississippians right now, while the entire group continues to focus on more mid-range and long-term economic ways to boost our economy. We also look at what's needed right now in small-town Mississippi by our small businesses. And we realized very early on that access to PPE in a readily manner was difficult and hard to come by for those small businesses. And they weren't buying things by the hundreds and thousands. So with the MDA and MEMA, we were able to come up with a way to have this website, this resource digital hub, where now all businesses can go, small businesses, large businesses can go and find products that are made both for Mississippians here in Mississippi. So if you have any questions in the future, Restart Mississippi has its own little webpage, and it's www.restartms.ms. And we continue to focus on ways to boost the economy.
Thank you, Monica, for your efforts. This has all been a volunteer effort by Mississippians who are helping grow Mississippi's economy, and Monica has done a fantastic job, as have all of the members that she represents here today. We also have Director Turner here today from the MDES. Her department is also launching a website to help solve a critical problem that we have within our unemployment system. And that is, and you've heard us talk about it before, unemployment fraud. We've had issues with fraudulent claims, as well as people who have been offered a chance to work who would rather stay on unemployment benefits indefinitely. This system prevents illegal unemployment payments from going to people who do not qualify. It will help ensure that our system is solvent for those who truly need it. It allows employers to report rehiring, refusal of work, inability to locate, or potential fraudulent or identity theft cases. That information sharing is critical as we work to get assistance to the people who need it and try to get our economy moving in a safe way. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Jackie to give us some updates.
Thank you, Governor Reeves. It's my pleasure to be here today with Governor Reeves and Monica. We have worked closely at Employment Security with the Restart Committee, and the Restart Mississippi portion of unemployment was born out of a conversation and a relationship with the Restart Committee, and hearing employers and people filing for unemployment, their needs for needing to tell us something in a more robust way than the regular way that they did it in normal times. Everything is different because it's the unprecedented claims load, so we had to find a better way for the things that Governor Reeves described for employers to tell us. Before I get to that, I wanted to give you a few statistics as we come here today on July 15th. Since the week ending March 14th through the week ending July 4th, there's been approximately right under 400,000 unemployment claims filed. And as of the week ending July 4th, there has been about half of those, about 200,000 of that 399,000 that are continuing to file for unemployment. Now, there are 7 different unemployment type programs that we are running or that we're responsible for administering in employment security, including the regular unemployment program, the pandemic unemployment assistance program, some disaster unemployment, extended employment, it goes on, but all these programs have their own complex rules and regulations, and then they have to interact together to best fit or to serve the needs of the person out there that needs the unemployment. So you can see from those statistics that we have about half that started off, they're still filing, and there are a couple of important dates that I wanted to mention. Number one, Governor Reeves' Executive Order 1502. It has provisions that We started out with executive order with certain provisions. We ended some of those provisions at the end of June. Some extend to the end till July 25th. That's a very important date for both those who are receiving unemployment and for businesses as well. Please review that Governor's Executive Order 1502. It's on the MDS website, Secretary of State's website, and also the FPUC, Federal Pandemic Unemployment Compensation Program, which is what we call the extra $600 that's added to each of those 7 programs that I talked about. If a person is receiving any of those 7 programs right now, they get an additional $600. As it stands right now, that program will end the week ending July 25th. So we will be sharing things on social media, doing interviews and those kind of things to discuss what that means for individuals, what that means for employers, and also pushing our Restart Mississippi initiative that Monica and Governor Reeves are been so gracious to engage with us, and we appreciate that. We've had 1 or 2 in-person meetings and some virtual meetings with the Restart Mississippi members, and it was born out of that, and it does provide a mechanism, a more robust mechanism, an automated mechanism for employers to tell us things, and I'll go over those one more time. Tell us when you are rehiring someone that maybe you laid off before, they're coming back to work. When someone refuses work. When you are looking for employees that maybe you laid off and you cannot locate them, maybe we have information on those. It's to help us and you. And then there may be situations where someone never separated from their employment. It may be fraudulent, it may not be fraudulent. But Governor Reeves spoke of the fraudulent portion of that, and that is very real for us right now across the country, and specifically in Mississippi. Fraudulent claims may be identity theft. They may be someone that does not qualify for one of the unemployment programs because they are not unemployed. Having employers tell us these things about potential fraud or ID theft claims helps us recover fraudulent payments and quit allowing individuals or ID theft rings to be drawing unemployment because it is not allowable to do so. So we're very excited about the use of the program. Employers that contribute to the unemployment insurance tax system, both rated and reimbursable employers, received a letter in the mail with an authorization code. And that code and that letter tells employers what to do and when to do it. It is also found on our MDS website at www.mdes.ms.gov. So we encourage employers to help us help you. It will help us both by taking care of these things in an automated fashion, which will speed up the process. So thank you.
Thank you to both of you for your efforts. This has been a collaborative effort of the public sector and the private sector and individuals from all over Mississippi. These are just 2 of the initiatives that they have enacted. When you look at much of the legislation that passed by the Mississippi legislature with respect to CARES Act funds, many of those ideas came directly from the Restart Mississippi Commission, and I am very proud of all of their work, and we'll continue to make announcements with respect to this over the coming days and weeks.